Hey, you are now locked in to Hard Reset with Juice Kastoan. Let's go.
Hello, hello, hello. Alright, so today's episode, we are going to talk about times where I quit or times where, I almost quit. There's only really a few times where I can say that I quit and gave up, but we're going to focus on that in the comeback, right? um, First time I actually quit, I was a junior in high school. I was a senior in high school, but it started before I was a junior. But not before I was a junior. It started when I was a junior. My mom, she wanted to buy a home, and me at the time, I was just like, whatever you get, just get whatever you want. I just want you to be happy. So my mom did that. She got a house, probably about 10 to 15 minutes away from where we lived, in Tomball. And then, because I lived in Cypress, Texas, but we moved to Tomball, Texas. And then in turn, I basically had to change high schools because I was out of district. So then at that point, my second semester of my junior year, I started at a new school. And basically, it was different. It was a little bit of a shell shock, and I had to get used to it. By my senior year, I was on a basketball team my junior year, and I was probably going to be on the basketball team my senior year as well. But by the time my senior year came, I really didn't want to play anymore. I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to get out of school already. So, I let them know during our first meeting for basketball that I'm not playing this year, and I didn't get my physical. The silence was definitely loud, and I definitely felt out of the loop at that point. I could tell that everyone was shocked, and they were just like, kind of confused, but also like, well, if he doesn't want to be with us, he doesn't want to be with us. So, I pretty much went through that whole school year trying to make it through, basically. I made it through by making music. That was what I did. And it helped me a lot. But with that being said, I definitely quit basketball. And it wasn't because I didn't love basketball. It was just because at that point I didn't want to do anything. I really just wanted to stay home and do nothing at all. So that was the first time I quit. The second time I actually quit, and wanted to give up, it was when I was in the Navy and I attempted suicide. That was probably the second time and probably the last time. And I can just go back to after it all happened and I was in San Diego. Basically, while I was in San Diego, I didn't want to do anything except just focus on my mental health. I didn't really want to try to attain any goals. I didn't want to achieve anything. I just wanted to feel better. So, at that point, I didn't really, I didn't want to do anything except that. So, I go to work every day, do my job, and then when I go home, I'll just chill at the house, go outside, smoke a little bit, and just chill in my room. And honestly, mentally, I was still trying to get myself back together, so I was working through a lot during that period of time. And then, by the time I moved to Texas and got out of the Navy, and then moved back to California to live with Gonzo and Brown, I didn't have any goals. I just wanted to live peacefully, and that's it. I just wanted to live peacefully. So that was my goal, and I can say I actually did that. With that being said, I think what I was really doing was not just trying to live peacefully, but I was recharging and getting myself back to what I was. Getting my mind right, getting my emotions right. Put a point that at some point, I feel that inspiration to go out there and, conquer the world and tackle it again. But for that moment in time, I really just wanted to relax and live in peace and just take it day by day. I can say it was very tough. It was very hard. But even with that being said, once I got through that part and I felt mentally ready and felt like, okay, I need to do something. I need to go out there. I need to try to, make some of myself. I think that time that I quit was actually needed, and I believe that everyone, they deserve that time to where if they feel overwhelmed or they feel, like they can't be one with themselves, they need that time apart. And not like time apart in a relationship. I mean, like, they need to be able to deprogram and get away from the rat race, working all the time. And that's mainly why also I feel vacations are very important. I was in the Navy, and when I was in San Diego, I had at least like a month, maybe 2 months of leave. And they were like, well, I mean, you can take your leave or you can, get paid for your leave and get those in a check. And you don't have to take a leave at all. You can just keep working until your last day. And I knew at that point, I was like, no, I want to get out. And I don't want to get paid for my leave. I feel it's more valuable that I got my time to get mentally ready to be a civilian than just work the rest of the time and, at that point just get paid for it, because the money is going to come and go quickly. The time that I have to spend alone is going to be valuable. So when I did that, I pretty much decided that I was going to, take my leave, and I did that. After I took my leave, I was in Texas, and I still wasn't feeling 100%. I still wasn't feeling completely well. So, needless to say, I think if I would have stayed and worked those days and got paid for it instead of actually taking a leave, I probably would have been worse off. So I think it was the best decision to actually take that leave. But those are the times where I've actually quit. Have I felt like quitting a lot? I can't say that I have, but I think it's mostly because I have tunnel vision when it comes to goals. So when I want to do something or achieve something, I'm focused on doing that and trying to achieve it. I'm not really focused on anything else. So the fact that I, don't really, it doesn't really affect me in that manner, I guess is a good thing, but it's also forced me to be more in tune with my emotions and my mental and make sure that I'm actually mentally well and know when I'm feeling overwhelmed and when I need time to process things. And I haven't revealed it yet, but also it's something I'll probably talk about later on another podcast. But during this whole time when I said like I had my suicide attempt and all this other stuff, it was also difficult because at that point in time when I was in San Diego, what they revealed to me is that they diagnosed me with schizophrenia. So since I was diagnosed with schizophrenia, I had to take medication. I was not aware that I had it, so when they told me that, I was kind of like, what? Okay. So how am I supposed to function with this? And, they tried to get me on medication, and, the medication, it did not feel great when I first started taking it. And actually, while I was in it, I felt like a zombie. I felt emotionless. So it was very hard to, take it and get used to it, which was another part of me quitting and everything, because I felt like I hit rock bottom at that point. I was like, what am I doing? Like, I'm just here. I'm not achieving anything. I'm not going for any goals. I'm just mentally just like unwell and trying to get right. And with me being mentally unwell and trying to get right, I'm not doing anything other than just sitting in my room to myself, trying to get my mind right and just thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking. So, that on top of that, and trying to, get used to the idea that I'm going to have to live with schizophrenia, it was very tough. But, over time, as with anything, it does get better in the long run. It's, you got to get used to it. You have to force yourself to go through some things, and eventually I got used to the medication, and I didn't feel emotionless like I did when I first started taking it, and I started feeling back to myself in a way, and not so weird. So, if you do have mental health issues or you're diagnosed with something, if you're prescribed medication and whatnot, even if it feels weird, just take it. Because I guarantee in the long run, once your body actually gets used to it, and once you get used to it, you'll feel like normal. You'll feel like you once was. It's going to take some time. It may take months. It may take a year, 2 years. But once you get to that point to where you can function and you get used to it, it's no longer going to be an issue for you. You're no longer going to feel like you're not yourself. That'd be my one message for this episode. Other than that, yeah, that's basically the 2 times where I actually quit. And other than that, I've never really felt like quitting, but those were the times where it was the most hardest, and I eventually pulled through over time by finding my voice in something else. So this is the episode. Other than that, hope you have a
This
good day.
was Hard Reset. Hopefully you got some. Leave a comment, answer the polls. Go ahead and contact me at Jeuse Kastoan on Instagram, Twitter, everything. To go and holler at your boy.
Mad thoughts just going through my head. Expectations have been met.